but you heard that kick in. And look at this. Hey, this is Joel from J Bay Media, and today I'm doing something a little different, a product type review on a tent. As you know, I'm an outdoors person. I love to go camping. I love to travel. I love to be outdoors. Lake Tahoe, Nevada, California, British Columbia, Alberta. So we've got a new product today from a company called Rise based out of Whistler. They were kind enough to send me a review unit here on a pretty, I would say, unique tent. That inflates in a matter of just minutes. You're going to want to see this. It's pretty spectacular the way that it works. We've all been camping before. You get to your campsite. Oftentimes you're getting to your campsite pretty late. You know, you're getting there potentially when it's dark. And it just, my whole life having tents, fumbling with setting them up. And it's like, it's so painful just to get that done. And you're like losing daylight and you see people struggling. We've had like divorces over setting up tents. It's really bad. So to have something that just automatically fills up by itself with its own battery pack and you just set it and forget it type thing I'm going to show you is super awesome to have. So let's take a look at this tent and how to set it up. We have the Airbank here. Now this is going to be the battery pack that is going to inflate and deflate the tent. It is rechargeable batteries, so you just plug it in with a USB-C, obviously before you go out camping, but let's take a look at what is actually in here. So we've got this kind of zipper back area with the hose that you're gonna use, okay? And then I leave the instructions in here. This is very handy. It tells you exactly what to do with all the valves and inflating and deflating. The kit actually comes with a bunch of other attachments for the hose as well. So this is pretty cool because if you're blowing up floaties or something, you want to hit the lake, then these are going to be really good for that. There's all kinds of different attachments here. I haven't used half of the stuff yet, but nice to know that they're in here. The instructions, I'd highly recommend following these the very first 1 or 2 times that you do this because I was, you know, brand new product, you don't know what you're doing, right? Unless you're, of course, watching a video like this. So here is the instructions. Here's the actual Airbank itself, right? Battery powered, as I mentioned. So we are going to use the inflate, not the deflate. The deflate is what we're going to use later. So this is the hose that comes with it. Simply attach, screw it on, really easy. And then we'll go to our next step. Cultus Lake in Chilliwack. Hard to beat a view like that on a Saturday night. Okay, it's time to check out the actual tent here itself. So it comes in this, I don't know what you call it, teal blue type bag here. It's very sturdy. That's the one thing you'll notice about, that I've noticed of this product. This is not some cheap Amazon product that, you know, it's gonna rip at the seams or something. This feels very industrial. I noticed that the first time I pulled it out. So you wanna use these straps. These are really good for when you put it away because they really help compress the tent. So I'm going to loosen those off. And recommended by Todd, the inventor or the owner of this company, is to just flip this over. All right, and that just comes right out. So all we have to do now is unfold it, find the front of the tent, and I gotta figure out which way that is. I'm going to move this Airbank out of the way just for a second, and let's see what we can find here. Okay, there we go. So this black part right here is the front of the tent. One thing you want to make sure you do before you start inflating anything, make sure all of these are closed, right? These need to be closed. Otherwise, you could do like me when you very first pulled it out, got too excited, didn't read the instructions, and all the air just kept flowing out as I was pumping it through, so I was getting nowhere. And I was wondering why it was taking 20 minutes to inflate this thing. Okay, then you have these other gray ones that are around the outside. There's 4 total of these basically holes around the outside. So you gotta remember, if it's pressed in, that lets air out. Now, if you turn it to the left, and you see the spring come out, that's like stopping the air from coming out. So stop the air from coming out, turn that, and let's go do the other two. But yeah, just to reiterate again, that black one is the only black one. That's gonna be the front side of the tent. You can definitely do this one person. Ground beef tacos on a Saturday night, along with some marble cheese and custom cheese. All right, so it's pretty laid out here. Let's make sure this one's closed. That's gotta be closed for sure. Again, just stick it in to the right. They're all closed except for this one right now. So that's the one I'm going to use to inflate this bad boy. So let's do that. Okay, so the instructions state you want to do 4 PSI generally on the outside of this tent, on the skeleton of the tent, and then 1 PSI on the mattress. Really easy to remember, 4 PSA and 1 PSI. So just turn it on. All right, okay. It's at 1 right now. I'm just gonna keep pushing plus until I get it to go to 4. Okay, 4 PSI is the recommended by the company. Now it's at 4 PSI. All I do is put it in here, go like that. So let's turn it to the right, kind of locks it in place there. Make sure this thing is screwed on tight, right? You don't want to have any leakage. So there's a little, perfect, that's tight now. So all I gotta do, all right, it's already on 4 PSI, just push power. All right, so the cool thing about this is because it's set to 4 PSI, it's gonna start pumping this thing up, and I don't have to do anything. I can go literally grab a drink right now. It's just gonna do its thing. Once it hits 4 PSI, it's gonna stop. So that is like the really cool thing. It's like a set it and forget it type of thing. Like that chicken grill they had like 20 years ago on the infomercial, set it and forget it. So you can help this thing along. It takes about, you can help this along. Like I said, it takes about 2 minutes to inflate, right? That's the advertisement, and I can tell you that's about accurate. I like to hold it up a little bit just to kind of help it, but you don't really have to do much. You can see how fast it's going already. This is 10 times easier than using poles. I don't care what anybody says. Brilliant, brilliant invention. How fast this works is like the best part. Look at this. Growing so quickly. You will hear this thing make a different noise once the engine kicks in. That's totally normal. That's not a defect. You can hear it's pretty quiet right now, but you heard that kick in. And look at this. It's just doing its thing. You can see here it's at 2.6 right now. This is going to stop at 4 PSI, and it's just going to be ready to go. I could just walk away. You'll see this thing turn off in a sec once it gets to 4. And we're done. Didn't have to touch it. Just stopped on its own. And would you look at that? All right, it just finished back at 4 PSI. So let's do this turn here. And because that is the correct way, this spring is pushed out, air is not going to escape even though the cap is not on. So once you learn these things, it gets really, really easy after that. So I'm just gonna screw the cap on. And what we're gonna do is fill up the mattress now, which also doesn't take a lot of time. So let's go do that.
Thank God a 6 came up. Okay, so 15-2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she cheats on a regular basis. It's no coincidence, she always wins at this game.
Fake news.
Let's fill up this mattress, turn the Airbank back on, just hold the button. But this is a key, you wanna put this on 1 PSI for the mattress. You do not want it to be on 4, that's gonna be way too much. As recommended, 1 PSI for the mattress. Make sure that you open this valve, what is that, counterclockwise, make sure that's out on this valve here, because I'm gonna use the other valve to actually fill this up. You don't want air leaking up this side when you're filling this side. So it's super easy. You just plug this in, give it a turn so it locks into place, and hit the button. 1 PSI automatic shut off. I love that. I love how you can just walk away and just don't even have to monitor or baby it. Boom, your mattress is done. So one thing I really, really like about this tent in particular, as you're gonna see in a sec, it's really easy to get your pillows, your clothes, all that kind of blankets and stuff in each side, because that's one of the big things about regular tents is you have one access point, like at the front, right? Whereas this has access in the back as well. So it's really easy to like not get dirt in here. I was just telling Lindsay here as we're eating our dinner for the evening that this the overhang of this tent is really fantastic, because when I had my pop-up tent, it didn't have this overhang. So when I would unzip and it was wet or had been rained on, as soon as you start unzipping that zipper, the water starts pouring into the tent. So this overhang is quite underrated and a very powerful feature of this tent. Okay, the fly, or the vestibule, as some like to call it, is great if it's like raining or something. I don't really use this very much, but it does obviously come in handy if there's weather, or maybe you want to have a couple little lawn chairs in here. When it's set up, it looks really good and keeps you dry and out of the elements and the sun and stuff. So you take this, you put the Rise logo forward, this top part here. Lindsay's going to help me out. She's holding the top there. And you basically start it from the corner, zip it all the way up. Make sure nothing's in the way. Good to go. The vestibule is on, it's zippered on. There's 2 other zippers here, one on each side. I've just taken that off right now. So I'm not gonna stake this down right now, but it does have these kind of ropes here at the end where you can stake this side down and you can stake that side down, and then this, if you wanted to stand up and hold this, can go to a couple trees. So now if we look underneath, there's going to be a huge amount of space here where you could have like a couple of, what do you call it, chairs, lawn chairs, camping chairs under there. So if it was really sunny or really rainy, you could actually be sheltered from all of those hazards, shall we say. So this is a really cool kind of built-in tarp canopy. I actually used to bring a tarp with my previous tent everywhere I went. This tent also has kind of a built-in tarp at the bottom front, so you don't get all the dirty stuff into the tent. So it's really, really cool. One of the best parts about this tent is you can put all of your stuff into these side pockets. Phone, water, keys, whatever, makeup if he's got that. And there's just a lot of room in this tent to put a lot of items, and they're different pocket sizes, so that's really cool. The other thing I really like is this clothesline here, which goes along the entire length of the tent. So if you technically had some wet clothes or something, or you wanted to keep something off the floor, tea towel, whatever, I mean, I'd probably move it a little bit up, probably towards the center, just to keep it away from us. But how cool is that? Tent is set up. We're ready for the first sleep at Chilliwack Cultus Lake. What do you think of the setup so far?
So far, quite comfy, and I'm happy that it holds all my going to bed things like the phone and the water and my eye mask and earplugs. I'm high maintenance when I sleep, so it's nice that those things aren't just like sitting beside me somewhere rolling under a foamy.
Yeah, my biggest impression is like how fast the thing actually blows up. About 120 seconds, roughly 2 minutes for this thing to blow up. And then the air mattress was definitely less than that. So it's really quick setup. I like it. You don't have to baby it. You don't have to monitor it. You just plug it in, set it to 4 PSI, and it's ready to go. This definitely has way more space than a lot of the other tents I've been in. I've had the pop-up tents before, but obviously they didn't have this kind of real estate. So I think the mattress is pretty comfy. You know, it's a little bit more on the firmer side. So if you like firm mattresses, then it's the way to go.
And one thing I like is that you can basically almost stand up in here, which is awesome. And because it opens front and back, you could actually get out on both sides without having to crawl over your partner to get out. Because a normal tent, you know, there's one way out and you have to crawl over someone. But this, you can just easily get in and out on both sides. This is for sure by far the best tent I've ever used. I would recommend it for definitely couples, single, even if you're just a single person, this is gonna be great. But you could definitely fit 3 to 4 people in here, depending on how big those adults were. There you have it, the Airnest tent from Rise company, riseoutdoor.ca is the website. I love how they're based out of Whistler. I love how they're Canadian owned and everything. So that's really cool. Support Canada and pick up your Rise from there. It's time for the next video. It's time to get some camping activities done, so we'll see you next time.